Tune in every Tuesday at 9 p.m. for Nightcap Knowledge. Put the children to bed, get your adult beverage, and get ready. Nightcap Knowledge is rated Black and Uncensored and hosted by longtime community organizer and entertainment professionals, Mr. Mac and DJ George Chuck. Real talk, real issues, real solutions. Nightcap Knowledge on Facebook, IG, and Twitter. Tune in and share.
Black with no chaser.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Nightcap Knowledge. I am DJ George Chuck, and we have another awesome show planned for you tonight. Get your nightcap, put the kids to bed. You know what time it is. Time for that shot of success. Something we put on your mental before you go to sleep, before you go to bed. It is time for Nightcap Knowledge.
DJ George Chuck.
Hey yo, start the motherfucker off track.
Go ahead and share this right now. Get in the comments. We need to see that you're out there. This is Nightcap Knowledge. Hit a little twerk. You know you like that twerk track. I know you like it.
Clothing, cups, and so much more. I got it made. .us.
All right. Mr. Mac, what's up, man? I see you bobbing your head over there. You like that beat?
I like anything up tempo, brother. I like anything up tempo.
Hey, you ain't about to hit the what y'all used to do, the bus stop?
No, ain't no bus stopping tonight. The bus.
Hey.
The bus not even starting up. Goddamn it! There's no bus stop tonight.
Tired, bro? You tired, bro? I know you've been slinging water like Master P playing that ghetto dope.
You've been slinging water like Harlan. Hey, I don't know which one it isn't. I'm telling you, but it's all worth it, brother. I tell you, when you get the chance to get to some of our senior citizens, our elders, those that are disabled, and they see you and they are happy, and I just try to stay positive. I post everything about positive. Look at long 3 days. Look, Eddie Wright been rolling with us, man. And listen, and he said he could testify, man. Eddie Wright, and I got to give a shout out to my frat brother Chris Golden, old gold man, the gold standard. That brother has been rolling, and I'm telling you, Chris Gold, veteran, Sigma, he's a Mason, he's everything. He's one of those brothers that the organization don't make him good; he make the organizations good.
You got to love those type of guys.
Hey, and that brother right there has Eddie Wright. Not only did he serve his country in the military, he's been serving his community. He's been out there rolling with us, and them brothers been putting them F-250 diesels to work. And man, it's been long. And actually before I got to the other spot, I was with Eddie Wright today at Madonna Manor, another senior facility, and they was happy to get those plates, man. The head of folks said, I thought they forgot about us because had nobody been over there to check on them or bring them anything since everything happened Wednesday, right? And folks still, I went to another senior facility and it's what's the day? Tuesday. Hadn't heard anything, right? So we definitely big truck boys. Look at it. Hey, I got my big truck back now. I might not be a diesel, but I'm ready to go. We were hauling, we're making it work, man. Because one thing, as long as the Creator continue to bless you to live, you're going to enter the senior community, and you just hope and pray that there's somebody out there that will help look out for you and be patient and do the things that we are trying to do for our folks, man. Because we never know where you're gonna be at, right?
Yeah.
So man, it's definitely. But I'm telling you, slinging that water, Chuck. I'm glad I never got that stocking job at Walmart. I'm glad they did not hire me.
Look, I felt like you feel. We had pallets of water going out for election day. And, then I caught COVID behind that. So look, I know where you are, my friend. Man, water is heavy. I don't know what y'all thought about water, but people drink water every day. But imagine a whole pallet of water that you not only got to go to multiple locations, jump on the back of the truck, get off the back of the truck, then transport the water, and then you got some type of little, chain gang going, assembly line. Man, look, water heavy.
So let me tell you how water works, right? So water is actually equated to 8.4 pounds per gallon.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a tank that's 275 gallons.
Yeah.
That lets you know how big that tank is once you fill it up full of water.
You are moving weight.
So when you add those bottles up, it tells you on the packet how much the packet weighs by itself. They just tell you how much it is per bottle. So per gallon. So, but the thing is, man, I'm just very thankful to the Creator that I always ask to bless us to be a blessing to others. So
there you go.
He blesses us with the drive, the energy, the strength. No injury, no pain from the injuries right now. So we've just been able to keep going because we get motivated. The more people that you're able to help, the more you're able to see. Let me get back on my reminder. This show right here is rated Black and Uncensored. I want to make sure that you understand that this is real talk, real issues, real solutions. And what we're talking about now is some real stuff, the aftermaths of our winter storm, winter snow and ice storm. We had a real live winter in the state of Mississippi this year. We got down to 6 degrees. And,
that's right.
And this is something that we were not prepared for. We had burst pipe. Chuck, we have a burst pipe at our office. Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Man, the net. Oh, man.
We're going to start calling from the nest. We're going to start calling it the pond because we was underwater, son. So editor added it up. Yeah, it's a lot of weight, man. So, we're just talking about the aftermath and what we were doing. We had this show last week and we come back and a lot has happened. A lot has happened.
Yeah, a lot has transpired, and we want to thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in with us every week. We got an awesome show for you tonight, and Mac is rolling through a lot of the updates that we have going on with Mississippi Move. And I see Mac he's reaching back and he's trying to get ready to get his beverage for the evening. And we hope that each of you out there, some folks are in Lent, and you're refraining from the beverages for the evening. But if you're joining in, if you're not, no sweat. At the end of the day, we putting something on your brain, and that's the best shot of all is to get some type of knowledge. That's where the Nightcap knowledge comes from. You get you a shot of success, something to put on your brain. We come up with solutions and we show you real people doing real things. And we're capping off our HERstory series, and we've got somebody very, very special. This is our 4th installment of the HERstory series, and I think it's somebody that kind of can sum all of the topics up. Like this young lady, what I'm saying? She's got that background, public health and the humanities degree from Tougaloo and all of that. I think somebody that can round all of these discussions that we've had. But before we get into the introduction, Mac, I see you drinking the Macallan 12, huh?
Yes. I have a condolence. I came to you with last week. So this week I lost my cousin by Reverend Mr. Johnny Williams, passed from COVID. And we're asking condolences for all the family. My cousin Stacy, Lonnie, Vic, grandson Ty. It's definitely, I've been around that man all my life. And so I definitely will miss him. So we're going to continue to stay strong, stay together as a family, and provide any support we can. So to cousin Johnny.
Man, look, rest in power. Peace to the ancestors. That they will be a force of nature now, watching over us. So we want to celebrate anybody who is gone on to the other side of the ancestral plane. Like, let's keep them with us. Say names, and we appreciate them for the path that they laid before us, and we're gonna keep on working. Tonight I'm drinking. It was like National Margarita Day the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I missed it, so I'm making them up.
What
I was working.
what tequila you got there, Chuck?
I did the El Jimador.
Okay.
With a splash of the kinky elderflower or
Yeah,
elderberry,
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And then I put a little razzmatazz, and for my sour, I did straight lemon juice,
Mhm.
and for my sweet, I did the agave nectar. So
Agave nectar. Agave nectar is good.
yeah,
That's definitely a good choice.
yeah,
For
yeah,
sweet.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It,
yeah,
it goes
man.
over better than triple set sometimes.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Way skinnier of a margarita than we ever used to serve back in the day.
Oh yeah. Yes. All right.
Well, look, man, we got a lot coming up now. We've got some announcements that we'll be making very soon from Mississippi Move.
Mhm.
Voter registration. Our year-long voter registration campaign will be, rounding out March before we get to the next round or series of elections, and then we'll pick right back up again, after April. But right now, we want to make sure that we got folks that are registered to vote, and of course, we'll be in our usual areas, the Mississippi coast, the Hattiesburg or the Pine Belt area, as Sabir refers to it, and then of course Central Mississippi and the Mississippi Delta. So look out for those announcements coming from the Mississippi Move Facebook and Instagram pages. And if you're not on the Mississippi Move email distribution, please go to the Mississippi Move website. That's msmove.org, and then you can get plugged in and you can volunteer with us. I'm telling you, man, look, if we can share this strategic plan with y'all right now, I believe y'all really, really get excited. Like we put a lot of work and
Right.
resources into this strategic plan, and I some of the things, like every time I think about them, every time I look at and read them, it makes me like really, really excited to see this next uh series of growth measures for Mississippi Move and us as an organization.
Yeah, yeah, I'm definitely excited, man. Moving forward, we even got one of our phrases going to come out pretty soon, so we definitely going to continue to work hard, man.
Yeah.
I definitely think this. We say this all the time. Every year is our year, and it's truly is. Every year is your year. It is what you make it, and we are definitely going to try to make 2021 the best year, one of the best years for Mississippi Move, and being able to affect lives in a positive way and bring about change. Because there's a lot that has to be done, and all the things are connected. So we definitely want to. I think actually that's what I'm gonna do. One of these hot, nice, warm evenings or something is actually show the movie Crash. With our screen, and I like the movie Crash. I always talk about it when I'm doing anything, especially related with mental health and showing how we connected. That we are connected by so many different things, and we never know how we are affecting one thing due to something else. So. That's a real good movie. If you hadn't watched the movie Crash, make sure you go check it out. Star-studded cast. It has Don Cheadle, Terrence Howard, Ludacris. It's a lot of folks in that movie, but it's a
I
definitely
remember Crash. That was a good movie, man.
it's really good because it shows you how you were connected. Lorenz Tate, everybody's in it with it, but it showed prejudiceness and how you don't know the folks that you have most in common because you allow other folks to show y'all differences versus what y'all similarities are.
Yeah.
So it's really, real good movie. Oh,
That's right.
We forgot something, Chuck.
What we forget?
Mental health minute.
Well, Mac, go ahead for the mental health minute.
And we can do the mental health minute. Then we get to our guest. Mental health minute came on me yesterday, and it relates to also we were talking about faith without work is dead. I want to talk about that, understanding that yes, you have to have faith in your deity, faith in yourself, but also you have to have a work plan. The work is on you. You must do the work. When you're ask for strength, ask for guidance, ask for direction, motivation, but understand that you are the person to get the job done. You can do this. We can do this, and we're going to have to do this together. We can heal our community. So understand that faith without work is dead. All right, Chuck, it's on you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time for us to introduce our esteemed guest for the evening, and I can't look. I'm gonna give the applause. I'm gonna give the heart. This is a person that looked out for both of us, both Mac and I, in our intro to Tougaloo College. when I say that, even in my road trips to the DMV area, she always made sure that I had access to the people that I needed to have access to, and introduced me to a number of folks that I still hold dear in terms of my Tougaloo heritage, and the people that have paved the way and set examples for us. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to put your hands together and warm it up for Dr. Chazeman Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all give it up for her. Yeah. Jasmine, what's up, girl?
Hello. Oh my goodness. It's so good to see you guys.
Yeah. What's happening?
It's happening. I can't even put it to words. So much going on, but I thank you for this invitation to be with you guys tonight.
Yeah, most definitely. Look, you got a lot of folks that are checking in with you in the comments. I don't know if you can see these names there, but they are giving you all sorts of hearts and crowns and all of that. So look, you definitely got your support system here with you. I don't look. You see E out there. You remember Elton? What we used to call?
Yes.
Hey, what we call Elton? Kool-Aid, man. What's that, Pat?
That's Pat.
We just call Elton E.
Right.
Just labeling people.
Right. That was little Pat. Is that how? Oh, ponytail Pat.
Yeah. Look, we want to definitely thank everybody for checking in the comments, and thank Jasmine for being here with us tonight. And I know it's only 9:17 here for us in Mississippi, but it is after your bedtime. So we appreciate you for this shot of success that you're going to provide to all of our audience that are gathered here with us tonight. So Mac, I jumped in last week. I want to give you a chance to get some questions in first this week, and then I'll round out the conversation. But we definitely want to give Jasmine a chance to say hello and welcome and introduce herself. So, Jasmine,
go ahead. Jasmine's on you.
Well, as you said, my name is Chazeman Jackson, and I am a native of Natchez, Mississippi. Proudly, Natchez born. Mississippi born. I am the daughter of Patricia Jackson and the late Tony Webster. I define myself as a queen. I was raised to be proud and beautiful and Black. I met these wonderful gentlemen at my alma mater, Tougaloo College, Eagle Queen.
Yeah.
And I could talk about all of the academics and experiences that I've had, but honestly, most proudly, I define myself as a servant leader. My purpose in life is really to improve health, particularly for those people who have been marginalized. That is not only my passion, but it's my purpose, and it's what I've spent my entire career doing. So, hashtag Tougaloo with a bachelor's, hashtag American University with my master's in biology, hashtag Howard University with my PhD in medical microbiology. And so I've spent the last, I would say 10 years as a career federal employee, working both at the National Institutes of Health and latter in the Office of the Secretary at the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. And most recently, in October, I joined the American Society for Human Genetics as their first Senior Director for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
Well, that's a lot right there.
So that's why we want everybody to know that you think we've been busy after all the stuff that's been going on with health last year. We know that you are extremely busy.
Right.
So
last year was definitely a stretch in my professional career and personally. The pandemic and the racial injustice was a burden for not only me as an individual, but I'm very community oriented. So I felt it deeply for my loved ones, for my community, for my people. So yeah, last year was definitely monumental. And something you were saying earlier, Mac, about like faith. Most certainly, I believe that if it were not for my faith, last year would have been unbearable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a thing when you start talking about, that you're there for a purpose. We talk about being able to maintain, do a lot of training around mental health, and we always talk about controlling your emotions, right? It's not like you're not showing empathy, but you got to maintain your composure and emotions to be able to jump into the fire and solve the problem. You don't have time to get upset at this situation because you got to make a decision that's going to affect thousands of people sometimes.
Yes.
So you spoke about the injustices. We have seen injustices and biasness in every system that we could think of, from education to the extremely in the justice system. But one of the things that we are very passionate about with talking about health awareness is the biasness in health, right? I can give you stories from personal experience with my parents to the larger experience we got here with our little spoiled person that we got in charge, Tater Tot, where we cannot in the middle of a pandemic where you do not. I was trying to be good. I was going to let some words fly to describe him a lot better. But so Chuck, don't gas me up. It's Chuck's fault. So the thing is, not making the decisions when you have a state that already had a subpar healthcare system, where you close multiple hospitals, refuse to expand healthcare, and then you say, well, we're going to pray for you. That's an answer that comes from your state leadership. Talk a little bit about what you saw with that. When it comes to the definitely is now they come talk about this, definitely has been biasness when it came to the education of COVID, the testing of COVID, and everything else.
Yeah. So for one, I had the opportunity to work on COVID from a national level, but because I'm, Mississippi born, raised, and still see that as home, all types of information that was impacting the state, I kept a laser focus on. Unfortunately, we all experienced it, that when COVID began, there was so much misinformation. And one key thing, and I don't even think it's, unique to Mississippi, it's unique to humanity, that we want trustworthy people to tell us trustworthy information. And we weren't in a position or hearing leadership voices that seemed trustworthy. So that in itself created an initial barrier. In addition, I think that there was some challenges in the messaging. There was a lot of, I think, blaming, where people would, basically say, okay, if you have underlying health conditions, you've had, people that are Black and brown are dying more or getting infected more because of all these underlying health conditions. Now, those are, medical facts that you have an immune compromised system when you have these other health conditions. But it wasn't until really I heard from, advocacy and outside of government, the people in the community saying, well, what about those environmental factors? What about where we live, where we have to go to work, where we play, that's influencing our exposure to this virus? And that really shifted, in my opinion, a lot of the conversation of it just being an individual issue, but looking more broadly, as some may term it, as the social determinants of health. And, you can kind of see some partisanship when you talk about social determinants of health. You know,
Mhm.
if you're in a state like our home state of Mississippi, a lot of the focus tend to be on just the healthcare system to fix healthcare problems.
Mhm.
But I would advocate that the healthcare system alone doesn't fix the problem. Most of our experiences are even outside of the hospital, outside of the doctor's office. So just to kind of go back to some challenges, particularly with COVID testing. It wasn't very clear that Mississippi had a very good strategy for the testing plan, but also tracking it once you find out someone does have it. So contact tracing. And even the resilience of or resistance of some who didn't want to wear a mask. I mean, in my area of the country, it was a no-brainer. Everyone wore a mask. But then I could talk to my mom or my relatives and go to the store, and they're like, "Well, so and so didn't have a mask on, or these people are not wearing it. What do you think?" And so that in itself was shocking and disappointing. But fast forward to where we are now, I do believe that we have an individual responsibility to take care of our own health, but we also have a communal responsibility. And there are therapy and treatment, like our vaccines that are available, that I know that there's a lot of hesitancy towards. But as a trained scientist, as someone who follows this data, this is critical for us to take this as an opportunity to save our lives. I mean, yesterday, I was really emotional to see, like so many others, to see us reach the grim numbers of 500,000 people who died. And those 500,000 people, a majority of those people look like me, look like us. And so I used to write a note to say, there's no help on the way. We are our help. And so I as much as I can be an advocate to educate, to be an influencer, that we should really take this virus very, very seriously. And when you have the opportunity to take the vaccine, you should.
Yeah, I've actually I've taken my first dose of the vaccine, and I shared with my new neighbor earlier today. I say, look, I have very, very smart people that I'm connected to. And I say, I believe that those folks who who have had access to the research, as you said, right, have done the reading, and I've done a bit of my own reading, but to lean not to your own understanding, and then to go to those experts, and the Bible tells us to seek wise counsel, right? So I look at the folks that I know that know what they're talking about, and I was on the fence, like, hey, everybody brought up what the Tuskegee experiment and all of that. But then when you start to look at it and you boil it down to very, very simple terms, in terms of this is a respiratory disease. So we look at other respiratory diseases, and what do we do with those? Or if we look at, the success of vaccines over the years, like, when the last time you had somebody that walk up to you and say, man, I was out with the mumps the other day.
Right.
Measles, what I'm saying? Like, man, you had that rubella yet? Like all of that type of stuff. Man, those are things of the past, and you don't get to those things of the past without science, or these things don't become, things that we don't have to worry about without science and us being able to have access to care, and it being readily available for any and everybody. So I do believe you make a very good point about the misinformation, and then the narrative that was, you know, basically propelled by these executive seats, the governors, the former president, all of these folks that would say they want, small government and big business and all of that. But at the end of the day, all they were trying to do was, set themselves up for a grander payday at the end of it. When you got your friends that are going to be able to give you a kickback, or they've got access to these particular resources that allow them to involve themselves in the production of different things that are COVID related, with PPE gear, all of that. You couldn't find masks. So your comment about these social determinants, a lot of it is not necessarily things that are the fault of the people who find themselves at the center of all of these things. It's kind of like it's something that they almost have no control over until we get together and we say, well, look, we're going to create our own ecosystem, or we're going to do things that give us greater access to information, one, and then once we know better, we start to do better. So
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I even, there's such a focus on, the research and how we communicate the science to the public. Unfortunately, generally speaking, our literacy is low. It's only recent that certain terms are like, now everybody knows, some of the basics of what's a vaccine, or but in general, this hasn't necessarily been, our common communal language. And that's not just for people of color. That's pretty much in the US. Like I recently read a survey from Research America that pretty much said, can you name 5 scientists? And and not as many people can do that.
Remind me of my man in Coming to Americans, like,
that's right. The barbershop.
Right.
I'm gonna go through the Tougaloo group and the Tougaloo alum group. I'm like, that's a scientist. That's a
right. Yeah. We have that part on lock.
It's a lot of them that hung out with us. Listen, you got a fan club that popped in here. I just saw Paul Aline somewhere.
He chimed in with the tater tot. Look, tater up there.
I think, and what you're saying is, for me, I always take everything to a community organized perspective by breaking it down to 3rd grade education. Why? Because for me, being a caregiver and working in the area, people talk above our folks' head and don't educate them. Like, they haven't been able to get a truly educated answer when it came to COVID, period. Definitely the testing, and not even the vaccine, right? So everything, like we talked about, for me, I said, I don't want nothing that 45 had anything to do with pushing through. I said, let's talk about Moderna. Let's talk about Johnson & Johnson. We're not talking about Pfizer, but I educate folks. What are the side effects? What does it affect? For me, doing behavioral health, social service coordinating, and one of the things I always talk about with medication education and medication interaction, about what your environment or what you're taking. And I know from as small as the value of Black lives, especially in healthcare, of not properly educating our folks and talking to them on their level, or make sure that they have someone. I will always ask someone, can your children come to the next meeting so I can sit down and talk to them and help them understand what we're saying and how your social environment interacts with your healthcare. It's not been broken down. So there are people that they did not know that you could still contract the virus once taking the vaccine, and because they didn't do a lot of telling folks that, hey, you still gonna have to take, wear your mask, social distance, and sanitize. You can't just take the vaccine. How they presented to a lot of our folks, you could take the vaccine and you can go back to normal. And they're trying to figure out how you took both shots, as they say, and the virus still going on. So it's not a lot of it's not in detailed education, and then there's money. There's been paid experiments for Black community where people have been being paid to try the trial drug without being explained the side effects and underlying health conditions and things that could impact them. So if you have COPD and one of the side effects of the medication might be shortness of breath, but it's not explained to you like that, and then you take the vaccine and then you die. So it's the same thing with our culture. It's not being explained to them properly, and people don't know what to do and who to listen to.
Hey, look, before you jump in there, I want to make sure that we recognize some of the folks in the comments.
What?
I'm not going to go with Paul's comment just yet. I want to recognize Marta Collier Youngblood. She has a comment. I'm so tired of folks using Tuskegee as an excuse for not following informed science, or if the informed science that tells us to wear a mask and get this vaccine. She's got a great point there. Shanika Momo is saying we got to tell folks the truth. So much misinformation about the vaccine, profits and power over purpose instead of getting folks better.
That's it. The whole issue was trying to get us back into, and the only language we heard was economy. That's all we kept hearing. It worked. It went about saving lives, because I actually did several news interviews, and we talked about Tyson and about for so many folks that were actually being contracted. My mom came in contact with two folks that actually were diagnosed. When she followed the protocol and called a hotline, they told her, well, she don't have 100-degree temperature. Even though she was over 60, came in direct contact with somebody, they told her she didn't qualify to be tested. This was like in early on. Then her job, she either got test negative or quarantine for 2 weeks, right? They told her to come back to work within a week because they needed her at work. Mm-hmm. So Tyson CEO had so many outbreaks in his plants, he wanted to shut down. Who stopped him? 45 executive order.
45.
So that low down, dirty son of a gun. Down. So it's hard to trust the folks that's supposed to sit in position when they are doing stuff like this, and so that's why we need our folks that has the knowledge and also that has the heart of the community to be able to explain things to us, because too many other folks are looking at a dollar,
What, Paul? Yeah, I agree. I mean, I was just going to add, I don't want to dismiss that there's so much value for solution orientation that comes from the community. A lot of, as we all know, communication isn't one directional, right? So we can't just keep telling you like, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. This is why you need to do it. And that there isn't that feedback of being informed from what's happening in the community, so that there is an uptake of the actual message. That's one. Two, I found that not just specific to COVID, but just in public health in general, you have two tracks. You have, there's this book that I read called Switch, and it described the rider and the elephant. Mm-hmm. And the rider is basically the people who respond when you give them facts. Like lay it all out. Here's the data, graphs and all. And that will motivate them to make some type of change or behavior change. The elephant, however, is emotions. And that often is the stories. Mm-hmm. That's you telling someone, oh, so-and-so went home to celebrate for their grandmother's birthday, but didn't know that they were COVID positive and grandmama got sick. I mean, these are some people feel like that's anecdotal, but I think that there's a important balance of not only sharing data and information, but also that story that people, and even if you can add stories that are closer to home, that you tend to see a lot more movement. I know a ton of people who were like, I'm not taking that vaccine, but the more you had even through social media, people videotaping and living like, "Oh, I'm getting the vaccine," or giving updates. We have Tugaluans who are physicians and are healthcare providers who are using their own voice to be able to share not only knowledge, but the experience that they're having, which helps to build that trust and reduce the hesitancy.
Now, look, I want to pivot from the conversation on COVID, because we can continue to talk about COVID all damn night, into the next year, because this is something that we'll definitely be dealing with. But it was something that you said earlier that reminded me, and I always do this. I bring up Chaplain Johnson and everything.
Yeah.
You said servant leader, and I think the first time that I ever heard that phrase was probably, in like a Tougaloo convocation. So tell me how the servant leader role has led you into your new position title as, Senior Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for American Society of Human Genetics.
Well, as I did say, I see myself that being integrally a part of who I am as a person.
Right.
And when I think about like service, not to get too religious and deep, but the biggest example is Jesus. It's the sacrifice that I've made and try to model, and being able to provide support, love, benefits to those other than myself.
Yeah.
So yes, I've had a lot of accomplishments. I've gotten awards and scholarships and resources and money, but all of that for me means nothing unless I can translate that into providing benefit and service to someone else. And so the leadership part of that is that I am put me in a circle for a team and I want to be the coach. I don't know if there's such a thing as having innate leadership, but if there is, that is me. I believe in being strategic, building coalition, and moving people forward. And so for me, like adding my service orientation to my leadership skill has benefited me personally as well as professionally. Yeah. As I mentioned, I spent, the last 10 years serving the United States and broader, global world as a health scientist and policy advisor. Every decision that I'm making to a Secretary of Health and Human Services or another cabinet member or the White House, right, all of that is to benefit, a greater good for others, particularly with a focus on those who have experienced inequity, who are marginalized. Those are the people that I'm most passionate about. So to translate or, transition to where I am like now, a lot of organizations took a really deep look at themselves to say, is this who we want to be?
Right.
And for our future, what do we need to do to get to our utmost North Star, our values that we have in our mission statements? And so my organization is one of those organizations who did that reflection and said, we need a champion, we need a researcher, and the benefit, they were like, we would like a scientist who could come in and help us shape our organization and our broader genetics and genomic field to be more diverse, to achieve equity, and to have a more inclusive and belonging environment. And so I'm using all these skills that I've either gotten from Tougaloo and American and Howard, or even just work experience, to now be in a position to shape a whole field, a field where, you know, it was established in 1940. The organization was established in 1948, and it's just having, you know, me in 2020.
Yeah.
Trying to fit an agenda of something that's been historically absent for a lot of people of color, or a lot of people who have been underrepresented and underserved. So yeah, I mean, long story short, that's where I am. Still 99 problems, but at least I'm in a chair and the seat to make a difference.
So Chuck, I want to make sure we do one thing, because this comment going off the chain. We want to make sure that she has an opportunity to respond to her fan club, because I seen the line sister, I seen some of everybody.
And bro. Hey, look, 598 out. They in the
so
comments.
before you get off, I want you to make sure you can shout out. We had to roll back to the comments, and because I know a lot of these folks haven't seen you in a while, and they definitely happy to hear all the stuff that you're doing. So I want to make sure you get a chance to shout out to your folks.
Oh, I love it. I'm seeing it. My line sisters, my Tougaloo family. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
No, this is great.
They are in there.
Thinking about something that you said. Let me see if I can come back to it.
You know, I talk a lot. I don't even know why y'all.
No. That's good. But
hey, we've done 2-hour shows. You know.
Well, we're not gonna do that. But
yeah, we understand. No, we're not. I think everybody is in favor of no.
Here's what I was thinking. With this whole diversity, equity, inclusion, and then the response that a lot of folks, and I'm saying folks, I mean, you know, like organizational entities.
Yeah.
A lot of people, you know, they did a lot of stuff on LinkedIn and all of that, and they did, you know, social media posts and all of that. And you've seen some people that have become really intentional about, well, we're going to do direct outreach to HBCUs, or we're going to try to create this pipeline. Is there, do you have any type of plan as it relates to your work and connecting? I know you said, you know, making sure representation and it's more inclusive at the work environment, but what are you thinking about? How do you get more people like you into your field?
Yeah, and that's a good question. I mean, the workforce diversity in science and medicine and a lot of other professional fields are often one of the biggest challenges. And I think, you know, one, mentorship has been essential. Mentorship and sponsorship.
Yeah.
You know, you have people who will give you advice and encourage you, which is essential part of your career and development. But then you also need those sponsors. You need people who step in, who talk about you when you're not in the room.
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
You know, the people who will say, oh, I know who could do that project. I know, you know, who have this. And so one of the focus areas is not just constantly focusing on fixing the person. Oh, well, if we get you more education, or if we get you at the right institution, then we'll fix the problem. If we can do a better job of fixing the environment that makes it presents more opportunity for people, that the doors aren't closed, that the table is spread and you're invited. That is one of the goals that I have, not only with my organization, but just in general, to be able to change the environment that supports. It's a system. To me, it's more of a systems issue than it is just an individual issue. You know, we throw a lot of resources that tend to be temporary. You know, I had the blessing of, being a Gates scholar, and they gave me a prac and said, hey, there's no price tag.
Yeah.
How can you imagine how many people, if you gave those kinds of opportunities?
Yeah.
To be, I initially, when I left Natchez, my idea was I'm going to be a physician. I'm going to be a practicing doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And with the opportunities that I had, Gates Foundation was like, we're looking for some PhDs. we're looking to build a field of more scientists. And I'm not saying that I just followed the money because other things were ordained, but just imagine having a blank check of opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we have you ever done a privilege walk? So a privilege walk, it was so funny. I did it in God Rest His Soul, Dr. Thompson, when I work on my MSW. We did a privilege walk to let folks know how much it makes a difference when you're exposed to certain things early in life, how it helps direct your path. And some of us backed so far up, I had to jump the fence because you started talking about having certain books in the household to read and things of that nature. I think being able, like you say, it's the environment. When you create more opportunity, when it becomes a norm for you to see these things and talk about it. Me and one of the councilmen who's now a representative, we talk about it all the time. Like, why do we know more about football than we know about who represents us on the local and state level? But those are the conversations in our household. We're not having a conversation about these things. And some of it because we don't have the exposure or the information. And that's why I always say I take everything back to the community, because in order for somebody that live in a household now that makes under $15,000 a year to sit where you're sitting and, for his opportunity, someone has to be able to connect the dots and be able to bring that information and talk about it. So I know one thing that Chuck and I are working on is doing different events for the students at Tougaloo. And we definitely want to get with you about, Cliff Jeffries, where you go up top, about presenting this to Nightcap Knowledge is not for the undergrad, because I'm still an advisor and they don't need to hear and see everything that I'm doing. But I definitely would like to be able to bring some of our guests, and Chuck, I talked about that, bringing our guests to the students, especially the alumni, to speak to them about opportunities, decisions that they made, and help guide them. Tougaloo has been one of the greatest. We were talking about Rise the Eaglets, and having a mother eagle watch over the eaglets to help guide them. I think that's one of the best things that we've had, because there's always been someone in a mentor capacity. For me, my Tougaloo one is Brother Hollis Watkins, right? One of the civil rights leaders in SNCC. So, we've had those. Chuck talk about Chap. So we definitely need to continue that legacy and continue to mentor and educate. And science, math is one of the major things that our representation is very, very low in. Despite how many graduates we came from Tougaloo, we still have a drop in the bucket when it comes to national of how many of us, that, folks that look like us that are participating in that. And a lot of it's because of a lack of experience, and a lack of exposure. Yeah. So we're gonna network. We're gonna make sure we get it out there. We need this because and
even getting your hands dirty. I mean, like I volunteer and with my different alumni associations, with my sorority, with other I had to put that in. But my point is being able to having the talks to share the information with our students and people who are seeking opportunities, but also I have a willingness to look at people's resume. As a manager, as someone who now supervises and hires people and things like that, what in your field what you're looking for. So being able to provide some of that feedback that's really practical helps people. And I'm sure you guys have experienced it because you went to Tougaloo. Our alumni are the bomb. Call an alumni, call them. Can I work in your office? Can I get some experience to put in, my resume? Or, I think that's these very practical and actionable things to combined with a focus of improving opportunities for all of us is the way forward. And I'll be remiss if I did not say, this week I was, really thinking about Baba Shokwe Lumumba, and with this week being one of the anniversaries of his passing, and he was one of the he didn't go to Tougaloo, but his daughter, my sister Rukia, share him with the Tougaloo family when I was there, and that revolutionary heart of giving back to our community by any means necessary, that inspires me to this day.
But you know who gave us the call, right? When we started talking about this rapid response for the community, Rukia Lumumba. So Rukia has been out there giving instructions and hauling water and food ever since Thursday, and that's who we've been working with to help cover actually Mississippi. It's not just Jackson Hines area, and we were like, you being on the show is definitely a connection. We started talking about not just we've been having to figure out how to get folks to dialysis. You know what I'm saying? So we've been dealing with medical issues, health issues, but all it goes back to say, hey, look, we got to get out of here, roll our sleeves up, put on your frat shirt, Tougaloo shirt, Mississippi Move t-shirt. We got to go to work. We got to haul, whatever we got to do, because that's what people needs to see. And that's what we got to do to be able to reach our folks, because right now we are in a triage situation. We got to stop the bleeding. And that's where we are. And so right now, like I said, we in it. It's no backing up now. We in this thing. We got to keep it going to the end. And definitely got to lead by example. That's one of the major things to talk about. So when we're doing elections, we always talk about two things. Elections has consequences and leadership matters. And I think that term leadership matters applies to so many different things. You got T Ware in here.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We got all the doctors.
Dr. T.
we got all the doctors in the chat room. So everybody's in here.
Look, I think we have some recommendations being made in the comments. And then also, the reminiscing that's happening. So
I see my LSD.
Yeah. I learned from the best. I can say I definitely learned from the best. And Chazeman, you are one of the best. By the time we became seniors at Tougaloo, and then I feel comfortable anywhere I go now. I can have on gold boots, and I'm gonna have the most intelligent conversation that you could probably have with a guy spray painted gold shoes. But it didn't matter. What you were wearing. It mattered what you presented with. With your intellect and your word and everything. But we knew how to present ourselves, and as a fresh person, a sophomore, a person that saw these people in these positions, and we talk about this Tougaloo community, we were able to see how we were supposed to conduct ourselves inside of these meetings, and to also understand and know that just because these folks are 20, 30, 40 years our senior doesn't mean that we can't address them in a way and then also push back where we feel like they may be missing the mark. So I took that into all of my professional career, and I've always been able to tell folk when I think they stepping out of line, and to be able to do it respectively or respectfully. And say your grandmama can get it too. If you step out of line, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm so proud of you guys. I mean, I know that
they in here.
This already, but I feel immensely proud that I feel like I've touched y'all and influenced y'all, but you've also influenced me just to watch you all making moves, the entrepreneurship, the building of community, the passion. I'm full. I was sleepy when I started, but I'm full.
You know, somebody just posted about networking, and I never forget. I had Dr. Robert Smith for Dean card, and you know, Dr. Smith still drives to this day. I want to put that out there.
Really?
90 plus years old, and wear a full suit every day, right? Every day. So he said, EPS. He said, college is 50% education, 50% socialization. You'll meet people here that will go on to become your doctors and friends. They be scientists, and y'all be friends, and that's how you network throughout life. Yeah. And he said that which is the truth. We people have gone on to do great things, and that's why it's so important to stay connected. You know, and social work, talk about the Rolodex, stay connected, because you never know where that person is right now. You never know what they're doing and how you be able to help each other. You know, so one thing I have to say, sometimes I don't have to go look up stuff on the internet to find out, oh, what agency is that? Okay, let me call such and such, and I know this person has worked at that agency. I can talk to them or have that connection and network. So yeah, I definitely understood what he said about 50% socialization, 50% education. We have had some hellified hangouts, and some of those same folks now are set in high position and high esteem, and that's how you met them, you know, and continue to network and support each other. And we try to tell the undergrad, you know, look, you know, you can do whatever you do, but understand the connectivity. So and stay connected. Oh Lord, we got the pastor in here. Can't say nothing else. The pastor done showed up. He done showed up.
Hey, see,
I knew that Negro when he was roughneck.
Don't get him started. He always said, "Don't take him backwards, brother. Don't take him back." Hey, a guy got tricked, you know, talking about starting a powerlifting team. We ain't started no powerlifting team yet. We've been trying to do that forever. I see him, Chuck. I see him.
That's roughneck right there. That is not Reverend Carter. That's roughneck. Right.
All right, now Chuck. You know he in shape now. Don't let him take you. There you go. Be yourself.
Hey, he said, "Be yourself, man." Hey, the best thing that you can be is yourself. Yeah. And look, I'm gonna bring P. Scott into it. P. Scott used to always say this. My grandma used to say it too. The best thing that two people can have is an understanding.
Watch your mouth, son.
Come on now. Come on.
And he said, and then he'll say that and said, "Don't touch me. Don't touch me." You know? We had some real cats, man. Some real cats that gave us some real understanding. And they didn't sugarcoat it.
No.
And you start talking about, there's two schools in Jackson that you cannot lie about the alumni. One of them is Lanier. The other one is Tulip. Because some of my closest alumni is folks like Dr. Edgar Smith. We connected with the blues, right? We talk about the blues. And we're a big fan of the blues. I just got a chance to honor him when we're talking about blues. So, you know, it creates an opportunity where no matter if you're a sophomore, you might be able to talk to somebody from class of 68, you know what I'm saying? And build that relationship with them at an event. And they talk to you, no matter what their position is, they talk to you and socialize and network with you, and just ask you about what you're doing in life, you know, and doing that type of thing. We didn't have a lot of fear. We didn't care. We were always there, hanging out with Dr. Ward, you know, at the little blues events or whatever the case may be. But that's how we was able to create a relationship with our professors and also with other alumni that was there. So we're definitely going to encourage them that y'all hanging out. Y'all hanging out for real. Y'all almost ready to throw a party.
It's a real party in the comments. And I just want to say that this is, Chazeman, you probably have ushered in the most liveliest set of comments in all of the 20. What is this? 25 shows that we've done. This is definitely the most lively set of comments that we've had thus far. And I know that we're gonna go and grow, as Chaplain said. I done always added that on, you know, and now we're gonna glow. So we're gonna go, we're gonna grow, and we're gonna glow. So I appreciate you. I know that it was a awesome time tonight for folks that have not been able to maybe hear about your work and then all of the things that you're doing. I definitely want to bring up the fact that we want to do something like this that's specifically catered towards these Tougaloo students that are, you know, matriculating now and about to make their way into the professional arena. And we've already had conversations with the Office of Student Activities or whatever it's called now, student engagement.
Coach Sam.
Yeah, we talked to Uncle Earl.
We talked to Earl. We talked to Earl.
We talked to Uncle Earl. Uncle Earl said it sounds like a good idea, so he's running it up the chain. I've polled in the Tougaloo student alum group, and I think this is definitely something that we're gonna make happen. Not there's no if about it. We're gonna make it happen, and I think that our young eaglets will definitely benefit from this group of Tougalooans that are still connected and doing great things. So we appreciate you. We appreciate everybody in these comments. All the comments that I see.
I see my old roommate, Country Grandma, Alkanite, and he also has a biology background. He worked with chemicals right now. So you brought all the fans out. I don't think you even know. Wait a minute, you might know Coulter because his folks from Natchez area. So yeah.
Well, I know one thing is happening. I know one thing that's happening is Jasmine, you with all those degrees that you got and that Gates scholarship and all of that, you were definitely doing this number right here. You were getting to the money side. And we got to figure out how to get to where the money resides. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. We're going to get to where the money resides. And if you want to donate to Mississippi Move, go ahead and hit that link. Go make it rain on Mississippi Move, man. We out here slinging water. We giving folks meals. It is what it is, man. We having fun doing it. Y'all get ready for next week. We're going into March, and we'll have another great segment with great guests. And as always, a little nightcap. Get that shot of knowledge before bed. It's Nightcap Knowledge. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Black with no chaser.
I like that twerk. I like the twerk. Hey, 598. Sit out a hop. A straight. Do that one right there. Do that.
Wait, I see T-Ware. T-Ware,
where you at?
He gonna pull the train. He gonna pull it.
Yeah, this is good. Sam's, we gotta go to bed. Y'all, bye.